Hi guys, Dave from Wing here. Today I'm going to talk about a couple of things. Firstly, the Australian Wing Chun Federation conference I've just come back from. It was a wonderful weekend in Brisbane. That's what Australians call it, Brisbane. And I was part of organising the conference, and I was also one of the presenters there, which was a great honour. And I've been very honoured to be a presenter at the last couple of conferences, in Adelaide and Sydney. But I did the logo this year, being in Australia, they asked me, and I'm just going to throw up a image now. I'll quickly talk about it. You'll see that there's Australia in the Australian green. There's the yin and yang behind it. The light one, which I guess is the yin one, is the Australian gold. If you ever watch the Olympics, you see us thrashing other countries in the swimming pool and a few other sports. Proud Australian. You also see the Queensland maroon. It's sort of a dark red colour. And I've got the dummy, which is of course a classic symbol of Wing Chun worldwide. And there's the plum blossom flower, which is the symbol of Wing Chun. It's a symbol of tenacity, courage, and Chinese friends told me it's the only flower that blooms during the winter. And there in the centre is the panda using the Bart Jarm Do, the Wing Chun butterfly knives, or 8 chopping knives. I chose the panda obviously because of Kung Fu Panda, and also because of Zong Mao, Dave Summers' school. And the panda to me represents all that I like about Wing Chun. Essentially, our founding story is that Wing Chun was taught by an old lady master who spent her whole life learning Shaolin. She was like Master Tigress, and she taught a young girl who was probably not chubby, but she was definitely like the Kung Fu Panda. She knew nothing. And she taught her within a year to beat a warlord. How did she do that? Well, as I look at Kung Fu Panda, I think this is a fable that must certainly have something of Wing Chun in it. And mostly it's about using latent natural energy, the power that's within us. And Sigong Chu often said, you have Nimlik, but you just don't know how to use it, how to access it. All babies have Nimlik, all animals have Nimlik. It's sort of the true energy of life. Anyway, I'll talk further about that in another video. I'd like to just show you these balls. These are the balls I bought for my conference workshop. My brilliant wife came up with the idea of using the kids' ball pit balls because they're only $10 for 100, and I thought they'd do because I couldn't find the other ones, the water bomb ones. But these turned out to be something spectacular, and I gave everyone two each, and we went through the Sunindao form. I told them, you could try this at home, in your own kwoon, try all the forms with these balls in the hand. But everyone got a lot out of it, and many people came to me afterwards and later and said, I could really feel that. I could really feel my mind in my hands in a strong new way. And Gary King, one of the incredibly talented and experienced Wing Chun exponents who was teaching us, mentioned it a couple of times, just how he thought it was a great idea, and the other guys all agreed. But it's just one of those things that it's a so simple thing, but it keeps your mind in both hands. So when you're doing something with one hand, you don't really forget about that. So it doesn't matter what it is, whatever you're doing, you always have a sense of that, and having a sense of both sides, it just naturally connects your body, and you feel like not one thing, another thing, you feel like one thing. Like I tend to think of my whole body at once as a sort of almost a blob of energy. So that's the balls. I'm sure virtually any country has ball pits. They're a great childhood favourite. So check them out. They're super light. And I had an experience with them after I said, put them down, everybody, and just feel like the balls are still in your hands. And as soon as I did it, I found quite a strong sensation right in the palm and sort of inside the hand. And I practiced a bit more with them over the weekend, but I don't know whether it was so many devoted Wing Chun exponents all together, but I just kept on feeling it in my hands, and it became extremely strong one night. I was talking to a friend about her Irish mother's interesting sayings, and I felt as if something was gouging a hole in my hands. It was just quite amazing, and that's the wonders of the mind. You don't have control of your mind fully. As people don't like that sometimes. They don't like the fact that they can't control what they dream. But that's also the wonder of life. We're much more than what we seem and what's on the surface. And when you practice Wing Chun, you're not just memorizing things. You're adding to your subconscious, your unconscious mind, and you're allowing it to grow in its own way. And really it's happening below your awareness in a strange way. It's like a garden that's growing, and anybody who practices Wing Chun regularly, and really any art form, has had the experience of talents just appearing, and it seems as if they come out of nowhere, but you have been working on them, but it's sort of the secret you. Anyway, I'll talk further about that. So remember the balls, and the last thing I want to talk about was the knives. We did a session on every form, and had a lot of fun with the knives. This is one of my Buick Yip beautiful practice knives, blunt. You don't hurt yourself. I'm going to make a video about an interview with a friend of mine, David Rasco, who imports real ones that are razor sharp, and they're beautifully made. He gets them made in Germany. So that's the real thing, and they're of course heavy, and you know, it's a fairly advanced form. Well, it is an advanced form, but they're a great thing when you're ready for them. The beauty of these is they were just made out of timber, and the guys made heaps so that everybody at the conference, doesn't matter what level they're at, can have a go at doing the knives. And I really enjoyed using these, and I've practiced the knives for quite a while, and I got a lot out of this. Just a simple, sort of lighter. We're getting people to stop us moving and see if we could move without pushing, without sort of not pushing. It's quite amazing the connection you get in the hands if you just relax, keep your fingers really look nice and light, and just move. And I essentially was doing move the ball, but the feeling I was feeling when I was doing it was a bit of a new idea for me. It was like it was a really long rod, top to bottom, very heavy, and I was just moving that. And my friend Steve, who was giving me resistance, said, you know, he couldn't stop it, but I felt as if this was a right angle, and there was just there's no way this could be bent back. It was quite an interesting feeling. I was just empty and really not trying, but learned something new about the knives. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and look forward to seeing you again.